Hi everybody, Stuart from Riku here. One of the things we often get asked about AI is how I can make it specific for my company. A lot of the responses from AI can be quite generic, and with a lot of the chat models that have just come about, this is generally due to the system message that people set up. So in this short video, I'm going to tell you how you can influence the system message to provide you better AI responses for your company and your individual needs. We're going to do this by creating a chat app within Riku, which can be used for blog writing. And because Riku is an AI company and wants you to know more about artificial intelligence, we're going to base it on Riku. So first of all, we want to log into our Riku account. From here, we can see all of the chat apps that we've created previously, plus all of the sessions that people have had interacting it, whether you are using this privately or publicly or sharing it with your team. To make a new chat app, all you have to do is click the Create a New Chat App button in the top right, and it will load up a new screen. And on this screen, you can change all of the defaults to really customize your chat app to everything that you need. For this example, we're going to be doing a blog writing chat app like we have this one here, which will help you to write blog posts. And if I come in, I can see the chat conversation that I had with this earlier. And you can see I asked it, I want to write a blog post on LLMs. It said, sure, let's brainstorm some ideas. So I said, how about open source versus private company LLMs? And then it's given me a list of topics and I could run through this. And what you'll notice is it sort of knows the content that I'm after because I have put this in the system message about the type of company that we are. So this is really important to know, is that by crafting out the system message specifically and sort of taking your time to make it as unique as possible is going to give you advantages over generic AI inputs and generic AI sort of, those responses that everybody sort of knows is AI all of the time. So if we come back in and we go to the chat app that we just clicked to create, we can then start to modify some settings. So first of all, I'm going to change the greeting message. Hey, let's create a chat app. And then we can change the placeholder text, which is the text which will appear at the bottom here. And I can write something witty. And then we can choose the technology that we want this to run with. So we have some of the Anthropic models with Claude Instant, some of the best open source models with Falcon 7B and the Llama 2 7B. We have a open source Thai model at the moment, which anyone can use. And we have the models from OpenAI. For this, I'm going to use the 3.5 Turbo 16K. And because I want it to be quite creative, I'm probably going to set this about 0.7. Remember, temperature is all about how creative you want the output to be. Setting a higher temperature is going to make it more wild, more sort of can go off on a tangent, can sort of explore new ideas, whereas having a temperature at zero or near zero will mean that it's more factual to the information that you already provided the AI to follow. So generally, if I'm doing a blog post or something like this, I'd go for 0.7, 0.8. Whereas if I'm going for, fiction stories or something where I want it to be very creative, I would toggle this all the way up to 1. And then we don't want to use any examples. We're just going to get into the system message. First of all, what is a system message? With AI, there is this term that is getting more and more popular, which is agents. We're not talking about secret agents like James Bond. We are talking about agents within the AI that have a specific personality and can do specific tasks. The basis of this is really setting a quality system message. It can be as simple as saying, you are a pirate, you talk like a pirate, and you give funny outputs with lots of examples of walking the plank and typical sort of pirate-y stuff. With something like that, you've created a pirate agent. And if you want to create, a Michael Jackson agent, you can do something like that as well by just saying, you are Michael Jackson, you are a singer, blah, 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 blah. And it will output like Michael Jackson when you ask it questions. So when we're thinking of agents, system messages, and also thinking of it like giving the AI a brain or a personality. So the system message is probably the most important part when you are creating a chat app, because all of the information you put in the system message is going to be taken into account during the conversation, and it's going to guide and tell the AI how to respond in the way that you want it to. So by crafting a really awesome system message, you can get a really awesome output. And I'm very much in the camp of having multiple small chat apps to do very specific tasks. If you want one to answer emails, then drill down and say, okay, I want a chat app to answer my support emails. I want a chat app to write my sales emails. I want a chat app to write my, schedule meeting emails. One of the things that people often do wrong when creating these chat apps is trying to do something too broad, which means, jack of all trades, master of none. If you're asking the AI to do too many things, then it can't specialize in an area. And what we want is for it to specialize in a specific area to get the best outputs possible. So for this example, we are wanting the chat app to, one, be good at writing blogs and guiding us into writing blogs. We want, two, it to know about Riku and be able to use the information that Riku is an AI company. It tries to do things with no code, tries to keep things simple, etc., etc. And three, we want it to not use too much jargon and to try and give outputs that are helpful and also at a level where anyone can really understand. So how do we do that? Let's get into the meat of creating a chat app. So to write our system message, we come into this input box here and we can start writing. If we want something to be not very specific at all, we could just write something like, you are a copywriter and you make awesome blog posts. You help those who ask you about blogs to craft the perfect blog post. Something like this would work and it would give you an output, but it wouldn't be very specific to a company. This is very generic, right? So if you are sort of creating an app and you want other people to use it, then something like this might work well for you. But if you want it to be very dialed in and detailed for your own business and your own needs, then it needs a little bit more work. So let's craft this again in a way that is tailored towards Riku. So you can say, you are a professional copywriter who writes awesome and informative blog posts. Everything that you write is insightful and provides a lot of value to those who read it. You are employed by Riku.ai. Riku is an AI company specializing in no-code usage of artificial intelligence and making it super simple for anyone to experiment, test, and deploy with a variety of the best large language models, LLMs, available. You lead the way in writing informative and quirky blog posts which are simple to follow and do not include technical jargon. Your target audience is those who are new to the world of artificial intelligence, prompt building, and integrating AI within their business. So you'll see the difference between this prompt and you are a blog writer, you help to write blogs. Here we provided a ton of details about Riku. So we provided details about what the company does, what the company background is, what style of blog post we want, who is the target audience, don't use jargon, blah, 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 blah. And by providing something like this, we can turn the AI into something quite specific for your business or your enterprise or your needs compared to something generic, which will all look the same and just kind of be like, meh. So this is going to be a lot better. So now we have this ready. What we can do is we can save this chat prompt. So we could say, Riku AI blog expert. This is a blog writing expert from Riku. And we can say create chat application. So now we see the success message that this has been created successfully, and we can start testing it. There are various ways that we can message this chat app to start the blog writing process. And how you structure these initial messages are important for getting an output that you are happy with. If you look here at some of the testing that I've done, for example, session 1, where I just ask it to write me a blog post on large language models, it goes and it tries to produce a whole blog post like this. Whereas that's really not exactly what I'm after. So by changing the wording of these initial messages, so can you help me to brainstorm a blog post concept? It says sure, and then it asks for more information. You give it a bit more information, and then it gives you a structure like this that you can then use. And then you can go in and you can say, okay, can we flesh out the structure from the first point? And then we can say, okay, can you write me the first point in full? So there's a few ways to do this. And I think by doing a process like this, you can come back and you can go into the AI and you can sort of fact check it as you go. So if there's a part that you don't like, you can ask it to rewrite it. If it needs more information, you can say, oh yeah, that section is really good, but can we include bits on this, this, and this? And then you can ask for it to rewrite it. And then you can go and you can get, write me the first point in a full blog post style section. So here we have something that can be used in a blog post. And then we could say, okay, this is great. You then build on the second point and the third point and the fourth point. And then by putting all of this together, you're going to get a really quality bit of writing. Now, the holy grail is a one-click blog writer, but generally a one-click blog writer is unrealistic to get anything of real quality or anything that isn't just generic. So by taking an approach where you're going back and forth with a chat app like this is the best of all worlds, really, because you are able to input your own knowledge and you're also able to get the structure and the help from the AI as an assistant. And remember, most of these AI tools and most of these large language models work best as an assistant, not a replacement. So by using it as an assistant and not a replacement, you're going to get the best outputs possible for your business and for your needs. And remember, by testing out different things in this Riku chat app builder, you can see exactly how you want to create it, and you can see what works best and what doesn't. So if you are then creating an SOP, or something for someone in your team or a contractor to follow, it's very easy to do so by quickly making a Loom video and saying, this is how I go through the process. This is how I go through the process. And then, you are getting the best of all worlds in outsourcing something. So you're getting someone else to do it, which frees you up to do something, else in your business. And you're getting it done in a very specific sort of way that produces quality each time. And it's also going to speed up the contractor or the staff, so everything is more efficient. And I think that is one of the things with AI that a lot of people forget. It's all about efficiency and making things faster without losing quality for your business. So I encourage you to try something like this yourself. Try and put more information in the system prompt about your own business, about your own needs, and see how the AI will respond. And just try out a few different things. We have the ability to click different sessions at the top to try out different messages and see how the AI reacts. And you can say, okay, this one works, this one doesn't. Okay, maybe I need to tweak the system message slightly. And remember, if we want to just make changes to this, if we want to change something in a system prompt, or if we want to modify the temperature slightly, we just do those changes, we hit update, we hit overwrite, and it's done. And then we can start writing, and even the existing sessions will take into account the update that we've done to the chat app since the update has been done. And I think one of the things that is also very neat about this process is all about token lengths. And token lengths are something that has come on leaps and bounds, and I think it helps with chat app style AI interactions, because it helps make everything smoother and it keeps everything in the memory of the context. Token length or prompt context is something which is often overlooked. And the way that we had it with all of these large language models just a couple of years ago was that a max token length was 2048, which was equivalent to about 8,000 characters. Since then, it seems that the default token length has gone up to 4,096, but you are seeing some models with a token length of 8,000, some with 16,000, and with the Claude models, they even have a token length of 100,000. And the reason why we say token length, and to get this into a more familiar territory, would be times the tokens by 4 and you get a character count approximately. It's not completely accurate, but it works pretty much on that basis. So with a higher token length, it just means that there is more context for the AI to know what is going on. So the reason why this works so well with chat applications is when you chat, you have your input, you have your output, you have your message, the AI message, your message, the AI message, your message, the AI message. So you've got this big chunk of messages going back and forth. And without a large context, you will have everything going, and then you'll reach the end. And anything at the start will not be taken into the context as the conversation continues. So on a basic level, if you have a chat app that you've named Lucy, and you said, "Hi Lucy, my name is Stuart," and then you have this massive conversation, and then after 20, 50 messages, if the token length is small, you come back to it and you say, "Hey Lucy, what's my name?" And it will say, "I don't know your name," because it would have already erased that top part from the conversation memory. So the reason why this is good from a business perspective is if you are building out something like a blog post where you are going over the structure, you're going over different sections, and you're building it out step by step, going from the title to the introduction to the first section to the second section to the third section to the conclusion, then it's going to be a lot of back and forth. There's going to be a lot of drafting, a lot of looking at things, a lot of changing things. And it's not, it's not a quick process. It's a process where the AI can assist you and you're going to get a great output. But it does require a little bit of work. And this is why working with AI has a bit of a learning curve to actually get decent outputs. But once you figure that out, you can replicate the steps that you've taken to produce quality content over and over and over again. And this is really the strength of what artificial intelligence brings. So using a model with a higher token length is going to open more possibilities for creating longer content, drafting stuff out, brainstorming, etc. The downside to this is the longer the context, generally the more expensive the AI is. So if you are working on a big blog post and you're using a model with 100,000 token limit or a 32,000 token limit, then it's very easy to get up to a stage where each individual message is costing, it can cost 10 cents. It can cost maybe more than that. And that's something to be careful with. But then if you take it into perspective of if I was to hire a professional blog writer to do this for me, what would that cost be? And even though I'm spending this much on creating content with this AI tool, is it cheaper than it would be to hire somebody? If the answer to that is yes, and you can produce 10 bits of content in the same amount of time, then it's something to consider and something that probably makes sense. So choosing the right large language model for your chat app in that regard is important to make sure that you have the right context length for your needs. Once I'm happy with everything from a chat app, I can then choose to make it public, embed it on a site, or password protect it. And these options allow me to share it with other people for them to use it, whether that be team members, members of the public, contractors, etc. How do I do this? I go to the top right, and where it says publish your app, I can change a few things. If I want to change the image, I simply click here and I will be able to upload a new image. Alternatively, I can hit the shuffle button and get some predefined images that we have set within Riku. If I want to make this public, I can simply toggle this setting. It's going to give me a link, which I can then share with whoever I want, and they will be able to use the chat app as much as they want. If I want to password protect it, I can toggle this and I can enter a password, set the password, and then anyone who tries to go to the link will be asked to answer the password and input that before they gain access to the chat app. And the final thing I can do is I can create an embeddable HTML element. And what this does is it means that you can embed this on another website. So for example, if you have an e-commerce store and you've created a chat app all about a specific product, you might want to embed this and then your customers will be able to talk with it. By making something embeddable, it means that you are making it public and anyone who sees that embeddable chat app will be able to interact with it. So these are the settings that you have with creating a chat app. And the final thing that I wanted to show you was by using these settings, you can then go in and you can see how people have interacted with it. So anyone who interacts with your chat app, you can go view chat conversations and you'll be able to see the conversations that people have had with it. So this is really good for seeing, exploring and learning how your chat app has performed, seeing how people are interacting with it, what type of questions they are asking, what type of answers it is giving. And by doing this, you can, fix things in the future. You can add things to the system message to make it better. Alternatively, you can follow up with the person if you know who it is and they've left an email, etc., etc. So by having this, it gives you greater control on seeing how your chat app has been used. And, especially if you're using contractors or staff to do specific tasks and you want to see how they perform doing it and how they interacted with the chat app, then this gives a great oversight and a great control of doing that. So this is the basics of building a chat app within Riku. We've gone over how to write a great system message, and we will look in a future video on how you can use a knowledge base to bring in documents that you have created or text that you've created or websites that you like to influence the output of the artificial intelligence. I hope it's been helpful. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful and it's helped you understand how you can build chat apps within Riku.ai. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. And if there's any specific topics that you'd like us to cover in the future, let us know. We're looking to improve and add videos all of the time. Thank you.